Chief Selector Ajit Agarkar addressing the questions that are being pitched by the journalists over there. But the T20 squad has been announced by the BCCI. Joining me now is India Today's Nikhil Nas. Nikhil, Shubman Gill comes back and vice captain.
Well, that's right, Anjali. That, in fact, is the big headline at the moment, that Shubman Gill has made a return to the Indian T20 setup. Why do I say it's a return? Because remember, Shubman Gill was part of India's 50-over squad. Remember, he's also a test captain. And ever since the Indian team was focusing in the last year or so on the 50-over format, he wasn't part of the T20 setup. And now, for the very first time in 12 months, the Indian selectors had the unenviable job of picking a team from a full-strength squad available. And it was a tough exercise, I can imagine, because there are so many good, talented players. And just to single it down to 15 wouldn't have been easy for them. Shubman Gill does get the nod. There were a few question marks over whether he can really make it into the Indian T20 team, because in the last 12 months, while he was not around focusing on the 50-over format, the young T20 team was setting the stage on fire. And looking at the way that young Indian team was playing with the strike rate that they were playing at, it seemed that it'll be a touch and a go sort of a situation for Shubman Gill, the Indian test captain at the moment. Can he make it to the T20 team or not? And they have gone in with that. We heard the chairman of selectors in Ajit Agarkar mentioning that they also see leadership qualities in him. So they're probably building him up as your next T20 captain. He's already the test captain, remember? And of course, Shubman, if you take a look at his IPL record, last 3 seasons have been incredible for him. And I think that has really helped him cement his spot. Because Shubman comes in, there are a few notable omissions here. I think that will be the big debate, the big talking point, the 3 big omissions that I can think of, which will be debated for some time to come. Yashaswi Jaiswal, the young opener who was a regular member of the T20 setup, he misses out. And we heard the selectors saying that, it was only those many spots that we could fill, and they really feel for a Yashaswi, but really could not fit him in the 15. Shreyas Iyer, who took his team to the IPL final, Punjab Kings, and has been outstanding with the bat, both in the IPL and overall in T20 cricket, he misses out, and so does Washington Sundar, all-rounder that has been doing well for the Indian team. So these are the 3 big omissions that are there. In fact, the selectors have said that if instead of 15, they could pick 16, they would have gone with a Washington Sundar, but he's unlucky. So 3 big omissions here, and the 1 big inclusion is that of Shubman Gill.
Right, but Nikhil, also we heard the names that have been omitted, that cropping up in the questioning. But Ajit Agarkar also mentioned that this is not the team that will go for the World Cups. They will be choosing a new team, and the opportunities will be provided to the players then.
Well, Anjali, that's right. Even though, the team has only been picked for the Asia Cup, and of course, there will be another round of selection ahead of that important T20 World Cup that is just about 5 months away. That will be played in India. And remember, India are the defending champions. So there'll be a lot riding on this young Indian team to retain that title. And they will have another fresh selection process for that. But truth be told, usually 5 months ahead of a big tournament like the T20 World Cup, when you have a dress rehearsal like the Asia Cup, you're pretty much going with the 15-member squad that you think will be playing the World Cup as well. At best, you could possibly see 1 or 2 changes at best, if I might add, from there on. Because if you pick this young 15-member squad, do you start dropping players based on 1 or 2 tournaments? That's not the sort of road that this current selectors have taken. So they would like to give these players a longer rope. In that sense, I think they will all be given a chance to participate in the World Cup. Yes, at best, 1 or 2 players might, change position based on the form that they show at the Asia Cup. But pretty much, this is the squad that you will see representing India at that big tournament called the World Cup that will take place in India.
Okay, Nikhil, do tell us, there are many people who are talking about not watching the Asia Cup. Do tell us, why are we excited about it? Why are the cricket lovers excited about Asia Cup?
Well, Anjali, that is, I think, the elephant in the room, the big question. In fact, this is for the very first time that anyone from within the BCCI, and even though Surya Kumar Yadav is a player and Ajit Agarkar is a selector, so they're not really administrators, but this is the very first press conference that the BCCI or the Indian Cricket Board has had ever since we were made to understand that India is participating in the Asia Cup. As you know, Asia Cup has been a big talking point because there's going to be a minimum of one India-Pakistan match. There could possibly be even three India-Pakistan match if both teams make it to the final. So a possibility of three times India and Pakistan playing each other in a tournament. Now, this is very contrary to the kind of atmosphere that we've had in the last few months after Operation Sindhu, where all sorts of ties were with Pakistan had been cut off, whether they were cultural. There were even talks that no point engaging in any sporting ties as well with Pakistan. Bilateral ties haven't been there for very long, but people were of the opinion that now if you've banned social media handles of the Pakistan, YouTubers and people that talk on social media, when you've even Bollywood from across the border, then why must there be cricket between the two countries? Even if it comes in a tournament that involves multiple countries like the Asia Cup, India should ideally pull out. I must tell you that the public sentiment still remains the same. We interact quite regularly through our digital platforms with a lot of Indian fans, and by and large, most Indian fans still maintain that India should not be playing Pakistan in the Asia Cup. India should pull out of the tournament if that is what it requires to avoid playing Pakistan in the current scenario. Yet the BCCI has gone ahead with the tournament now that the team has been announced, and even though there was no formal announcement that BCCI is playing in the Asia Cup, but now that the team is announced, it pretty much is laid out in front of us that India are playing in the Asia Cup. I think there is going to be repercussions of that. There is going to be a backlash. We saw a game that involved some senior players of the Indian team playing in a Legends League in UK. That match had to be called off last moment. Whether that will happen on this occasion, I'm not sure. But there's still about a good month to go, or close to about 20 odd days to go for this tournament to start before India and Pakistan lock horns in about 25, 26 days from now. So then we will see whether that match goes ahead. But as of now, everything seems to be on track. BCCI has had the meeting, they've announced their squad as well. One thought that maybe a question would have been asked in the press conference, but after the press conference that we heard, that really wasn't put to the Indian captain whether he's okay playing Pakistan in the current scenario.
Nikhil, photo opportunity happening there, smiling faces of Agarkar and Suryakumar Yadav. But we will be speaking to Nikhil soon, but see the visuals there. There has been a lot of pressure on the BCCI, on the government regarding these matches, especially the ones between India and Pakistan. But BCCI has stood its ground. It has said that it is a multilateral contest. It is not a bilateral series, and they need to be part of these international series. And that's how we see India being part of the Asia Cup. And today, an announcement of the squad of the Asia Cup. A surprise there. We see Shubman Gill coming back, and he is going to be part of the squad, and he will be the vice captain. Remember, Shubman Gill has given a brilliant performance in the last IPL, and it seems now he's getting an opportunity to come back to the squad via the Asia Cup. And let's cut across to India Today's Nikhil Naz once again. Nikhil, many questions asked there by the journalist to the selector and the team captain, but do tell us what were the biggest takeaways of this press conference that has just concluded.
Well, Anjali, the biggest takeaway is, I think, that question on Pakistan. I mentioned when I was talking to you a short while ago that we're all awaiting that question, that elephant in the room to be addressed, whether, the Indian team is okay playing Pakistan in the current scenario. And that was indeed asked by a reporter that was present in that press conference room in Mumbai. But he was duly interrupted by the media coordinator who was present at that press briefing, saying that no, we're not going to take any question related to India-Pakistan. We'll only limit this press conference to the selection. So that question that was going to be asked to the Indian captain, whether the team is fine playing Pakistan in the current scenario, that question could not be really posted to the Indian captain as well as the chairman of selectors. So that remains unanswered. But what this press conference has done and what this exercise has done is pretty much confirm to everyone who's watching and everyone who tracks Indian cricket that the Indian team is going to be playing Pakistan in the Asia Cup. It's all go as far as the Board of Control for Cricket in India is concerned. It's all go as far as the Indian government is concerned, because as you you know, the BCCI does await any sort of permission from the Indian government before deciding in participating with Pakistan. Of course, there are no bilateral relations, but even in multi-nation tournaments, they do seek government permission. But now that the squad has been announced and the team will be traveling to the UAE to participate in that tournament, it is pretty much an admission from both the cricket board as well as the government that it's all go for that game versus Pakistan. As I was telling you earlier as well, Anjali, that I don't think will go down very well with public at large. Just tracking a lot of social media comments at the moment, not a lot of people are happy because they were still hoping that while there was expected announcement of the team, they were still not certain whether all the permissions have really come through. So a lot of people who weren't keen on seeing an India-Pakistan contest were still hoping that something might happen and that contest may be called off. But now that official announcement has been made, I guess we're going to be hearing about this for the next few days.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Nikhil, for all those details. So clearly, as Nikhil tells us, BCCI is completely sidestepping the politics over the Asia Cup. And today they have announced the team, and the headline, the sporting headline that we are getting out of this is that Shubman Gill is going to be back and he's going to be this time the vice captain.